I find it interesting that all of these girls who are in all of these online beefs all got either a project coming out or threatening to put a project out. It's wild. It's like they're taking all of this weirdo gossip and, they're doing it for clout. There is no Diddy tolerance. This is a no Diddy zone. So anybody that says anything that's pro Diddy, yeah. Fine. Yeah, we don't get no fucks about the diddler. Landmark worldwide indeed. Now, what did Claressa do? She decided to become a part of a farce that is destroying that she ran from and is still running from. White girl, you plant. You ain't nothing but a plant. And I'm gonna prove it. And that's why you with Pep. Because he's a plant. I'm about to bust you open. See, I figure I'm going to give you something relevant to go back and forth about so you can mind your business and stay out of this family that's being ripped to shreds by the media.
Jaguar didn't ease into it or soften the blow. She looked straight into the camera and said what most people wouldn't even dare whisper. According to her, what people see isn't love, loyalty, or earned success. She claimed it's design, strategy, a storyline built brick by brick, fight by fight, image by image. In Jaguar's eyes, Claressa Shields isn't just standing in that ring as a boxer. She's a product, carefully molded, tightly managed, polished for the spotlight, and presented to the world as untouchable. But Jaguar pushed it further. She challenged the myth. The GOAT title, the fairy tale climb everybody celebrates. She asked how greatness can be shouted from rooftops when certain fights never happen, when some doors stay closed, when some risks always seem to slide off the table. She called it a performance with loud cheers from a crowd that never sees what's happening backstage. Then the energy shifted. When Jaguar brought Papoose into it, this stopped being just about boxing. Now it was about power, access, money, control. She painted their relationship as something strategic, not romantic. Two people calculating moves to survive a spotlight that keeps getting hotter every single day. At the center of it all, she pointed to a family situation involving a child and unresolved tension that many people chose not to speak on. Jaguar said while the industry stayed quiet, she wouldn't. She described a woman left standing alone while everyone else looked away. To her, this wasn't entertainment. It was exploitation dressed up to look like love. She made it clear. This was never romance. This was business. And she warned that when the deal runs out, the truth won't stay hidden forever. That's when the internet stopped laughing and started listening. From the second Jaguar went live, you could feel it. This wasn't random noise. This felt calculated, focused, intentional. She skipped small talk and went straight for the core. The image, the machine, the narrative. Jaguar said what people see when they look at Claressa isn't just talent and grind. It's a finished product created by a system that knows how to highlight the wins while hiding every crack in the foundation. Jaguar didn't deny Claressa's skills. That wasn't her angle. She questioned the path, the protection, the selective matchmaking. Why do some opportunities always line up perfectly while others never materialize? To her, this wasn't just sports. It was branding disguised as legacy. And when she spoke about that GOAT label, her voice sharpened. How does someone earn that crown so smoothly when the full story feels so controlled? How do you call someone the greatest when the most dangerous matchups never take place? When risks get trimmed down and the victories get polished for headlines? Jaguar said that's not just smart promotion. She called it manipulation. Marketing dressed up as dominance. In her view, Claressa's rise didn't reflect the chaotic, unpredictable road most elite fighters travel. It looked managed, protected, designed to guard an image more than test limits. The deeper she went, the clearer it became that she wasn't only talking about one athlete, she was calling out a whole structure, a system that builds stars in boardrooms as much as in gyms. Jaguar suggested that skipped rematches and unanswered challenges weren't random. They were strategic decisions to maintain control. Because once the storyline slips, the empire starts shaking. Then she widened the lens. Why are some fighters always shielded? Who benefits from that protection?
You got a fight coming up. Handpicked. Funny. It's not the fight you should be fighting, is it? There's a rematch you've been running from for years. You want to call yourself the greatest woman?
Jaguar argued that boxing itself seemed to be taking a backseat. In its place stood branding, PR moves, narrative management. She claimed Claressa was being repositioned into something bigger than an athlete, a full-scale brand. According to Jaguar, the value wasn't just in punches anymore. It stretched into sponsorships, social media deals, partnerships, and carefully timed controversy. And that's where Papoose re-entered the picture. Jaguar didn't describe him as just a supportive partner. She labeled him an opportunist. In her view, he saw Claressa's fame, influence, and financial strength as a way to boost his own relevance. She claimed his spotlight had dimmed, and this connection gave him new access and attention. At the same time, she said Claressa benefited too. A man ready to publicly defend her image at all costs. Jaguar framed it as an exchange, a survival pact. Two people navigating fame together because neither wanted to face the pressure alone. But she didn't stop there. She alleged that both of them stepped into an already sensitive family situation involving a child and unresolved issues. Jaguar claimed that the circumstances were known, yet still leveraged because it served their momentum. She argued that personal matters were being pulled into public view for advantage. That's when her tone shifted from analytical to personal. She spoke about how private pain in the community often turns into online spectacle, how family struggles become trending topics, how silence from others in the industry allows that cycle to continue. Jaguar openly supported Remy Ma and questioned why more voices weren't standing beside her. She challenged artists who promote empowerment but stayed quiet in this moment. Why, she asked, does dignity always fall on the person being replaced instead of shared equally? In her view, that silence wasn't accidental. It was strategic. As the live continued, one word kept circling back: control. Jaguar claimed Claressa wasn't as independent as she appeared. Behind the scenes, she suggested, someone else was steering the ship, guiding the image, the finances, the access. She used one word that hit hard: handler. That single label shifted the tone of everything. It reframed the story from athlete to asset, from champion to managed figure. And once that word landed, the conversation stopped sounding like gossip and started feeling like a serious accusation people couldn't ignore. Whatever illusion of freedom was still floating around, Jaguar tore it down. She mocked the polished public image, the photos, the red carpet smiles, the matching outfits and synced appearances. She said they didn't complement each other, they mirrored each other. Same moves, same tone, same script. To her, it looked less like chemistry and more like choreography. A parody so rehearsed, they started blending into one brand instead of two real people. Then she dropped it plain and cold. This isn't love, it's business. And when the contract ends, the truth won't wait for permission to show itself. After that, nothing cooled off. It sharpened. Once she framed their bond as a transaction, one question hung in the air. Who benefits the most and who carries the cost?
Just the two of us? And whoever he's reporting to, because I'm telling you now, after this relationship farce business with you, trying to transfer the Black Love brand to you and him, he's your handler, girl. Wake up!
Jaguar said the surface drama was just noise. The real engine behind everything was control. Not emotional games, not romance, operational control. The kind that decides where you show up, what you post, what interviews you take, and most importantly, where the money flows. She suggested Claressa's fame didn't just bring applause and endorsements. It brought dependency. The louder the branding became, the tighter the grip behind the scenes. Jaguar described it as a slow shift, not overnight. First guidance, then advice, then management, then direction that stopped asking and started telling. Decisions weren't just made for Claressa, they were made around her, in rooms she wasn't always centered in. That's when Papoose came back into focus, not as a partner standing beside her, but as someone positioned between her and outside voices. Jaguar claimed he played protector in public but acted as a gatekeeper in private, the one filtering what reached her, the one labeling criticism as jealousy and warnings as hate. According to Jaguar, that's how real control moves, not with shouting, with comfort, with reassurance, with subtle isolation that feels like loyalty. The longer she spoke, the clearer the picture she was painting. Claressa, in her view, wasn't being elevated, she was being boxed in. Jaguar argued that fast money speeds that up. When income jumps, when sponsorships stack, when the lifestyle expands beyond what one person can manage alone, power shifts to whoever handles the contracts, the bookings, the legal talk, and the cleanup when things go wrong. That's where Jaguar said the real risk hides. She warned that when a fighter absorbs physical punishment in the ring while someone else steers the finances, the line between partnership and exploitation can blur. Not because of one dramatic betrayal, but because of a structure that thrives on exhaustion and silence. She didn't frame it as cruelty, she framed it as a system. Then her tone darkened. She claimed Claressa's body was being pushed hard, not always protected with long-term care in mind. Every fight, every hit, every headline added value to the brand. Jaguar suggested that when one person generates the revenue and another manages the flow, dependency forms. And dependency, she argued, is where influence grows strongest. She didn't soften her stance. She described a situation where affection can double as camouflage, where romance distracts from contracts, where public loyalty shields private leverage. The person losing ground, she said, is usually the last to recognize it. Jaguar tied that to Claressa's evolving image. She claimed the focus feels less about legacy in the ring and more about maintaining a broader brand presence. More panels, more appearances, more narrative control. To Jaguar, that shift wasn't evolution, it was extraction. She argued the industry has a history of maximizing athletes as symbols once their commercial appeal outweighs their competitive output. Once the symbol is secured, the individual underneath becomes secondary. Then she circled back to Remy Ma, but from a different angle. Not just as a hurt spouse, but as what she called collateral damage in a larger shift. According to Jaguar, removing Remy from the equation didn't just create emotional space, it removed resistance. Remy, she implied, understood the business and wasn't easy to sideline. Claressa, she suggested, stepped into that dynamic without the same protective instincts. And that difference changed the balance. Jaguar accused the culture around them of rewarding that imbalance. She questioned why so many voices that speak loudly about strength and unity went quiet. Why it was easier to scroll past discomfort than confront it. In her view, silence isn't neutral. It's participation without fingerprints. As the live continued, she zoomed out. She linked Claressa's situation to a broader cycle. New stars get built up, marketed, monetized, positioned as unstoppable. And when their shine begins to dim, the exit rarely comes gently.
But that's okay, because every time you get punched in the head and you get a little slower, that's great for Papoose. Because now he don't have to explain to you how he's robbing you. He can just do it and notice that you'll just be sitting there, just the two of us, and he be gone with the damn money. You better watch your pocket.
Jaguar predicted that when the branding peaks and the spotlight shifts elsewhere, the protection will thin out. The same hands that crafted the image will step back. The person left facing the fallout will be the one who trusted the structure most. She didn't claim it would explode overnight. She said it would fade. Slowly, quietly, layer by layer. With everyone acting surprised when the support dries up. Then one day the checks slow down. The endorsements shift, the calls stop coming, and the truth shows up without warning. Jaguar insisted her message wasn't just an attack, it was a warning. She urged Claressa to look closely at who profits from her silence and who gains leverage if her independence weakens. Being defended loudly in public, she argued, doesn't automatically mean being protected behind closed doors. By the end of this stretch, her tone moved from outrage to certainty. She wasn't debating whether the setup was risky. She spoke as if it was already in motion. A deal with limits built in, a structure designed to favor whoever holds the operational power. As her life pushed forward, the weight of it settled. If the first part exposed what she believed the relationship truly was, this part outlined what she believed it could cost. And in Jaguar's framing, that cost doesn't disappear. It waits. Near the end, her delivery shifted again. Less chaos, more precision. The accusations were already laid out, the patterns already drawn. What remained was the quiet layer, silence. Jaguar argued silence is never neutral, it's alignment. She turned her attention away from the couple and toward the audience. The fans, the industry insiders, the peers watching from a safe distance. She accused them of choosing comfort over confrontation, of protecting their access, their invitations, their industry ties. According to her, when relationships unravel in public, the woman who refuses to stay quiet often gets labeled dramatic. The man benefits from vagueness and keeps moving. The new face gets marketed forward. And everyone else claims they never saw the warning signs. Original word count 1,157 words, rewritten word count 1,201 words. Jaguar said Remy Ma was the clearest example of the imbalance playing out in plain sight. She didn't frame her as perfect, she framed her as real, complicated, a woman with history, influence, and a voice too strong to squeeze into a neat industry script. And according to Jaguar, that made her inconvenient. Not someone to protect, but someone easier to push aside. She argued the industry didn't rally around Remy. It recalculated, it adjusted, it moved forward without her. Jaguar questioned why so many women who speak about empowerment suddenly went quiet when support required risk. Why sisterhood faded the moment backing the wrong person could cost relationships or opportunities. To her, that wasn't misunderstanding, it was strategy. Safety over principle. Then Jaguar shifted back to Claressa, not with sympathy, but with caution. She said Claressa's fame rests on a carefully managed narrative, and narratives only survive as long as the storyline stays intact. Once cracks form, the image can unravel fast. Jaguar pointed to the growing online presence, the polished captions, the curated confidence, the carefully staged photos. She suggested it felt less like authenticity and more like armor. Jaguar described someone being pushed forward at high speed while major decisions swirl behind the curtain. In her view, the real danger begins when a person becomes more valuable as a brand than as a human being. When the symbol matters more than the spirit, that's when priorities shift quietly. She brought Papoose back into focus one more time, not accusing him of one explosive betrayal, but of positioning. Staying close enough to benefit from the momentum, yet distant enough to avoid full responsibility. Playing stability in public while navigating turbulence behind the scenes. Jaguar suggested accountability can disappear this way. Not through obvious wrongdoing, but through blending into a story so layered that blame never sticks to one place. As the live continued, she mocked the presentation, the coordinated outfits, the synchronized entrances, the public affection designed to signal unity. Jaguar called it overly polished, a relationship curated so tightly that raw emotion barely had space to show. Two reflections staring at each other instead of two individuals balancing each other, copies instead of contrasts, orbiting the same spotlight until identity blurs. Then she slowed down. Her tone moved from commentary to consequence. She warned that every arrangement has a shelf life. Deals built under pressure rarely age well. When the advantages shrink, so does the protection. That's when reality steps in. Jaguar delivered what sounded less like a punchline and more like a forecast. She said she's seen patterns like this before. The gradual fade, the missed calls, the explanations that get rewritten to protect reputations, accountability reshaped into public relations, the quiet distancing. Then the moment when the key players have already stepped back, leaving one person facing the fallout alone. She argued that when the spotlight dims, it doesn't erase the impact, it exposes it. According to Jaguar, confusion is useful to powerful systems. Confusion delays responsibility. It keeps the public debating personalities instead of questioning structures. That's why, she claimed, the story gets labeled messy or dramatic instead of strategic. Calling it strategy would force harder conversations about influence, money, and who benefits when private matters become public narratives. Jaguar stripped the story down to basics. She said this isn't just about boxing, not just about music, not even just about romance. It's about use. Who gains? Who gives? Who stays silent while it unfolds? She argued that love doesn't require handlers. Legacy doesn't require insulation from fair challenges. And truth struggles to survive in rooms where everyone's protecting their own position. By the end of her live, Jaguar had dismantled the image piece by piece, not with leaked documents, not with hidden recordings, but with repetition and conviction. Her stance didn't drift, her framing stayed consistent. She insisted the relationship wasn't structured for longevity. The narrative supporting it wasn't built to handle sustained pressure. She predicted it wouldn't collapse in a dramatic explosion. It would erode, slowly, publicly, in small visible cracks that widen over time. Once that process starts, she argued, no rebranding campaign can fully seal it. Image can delay exposure, but it can't erase it. Jaguar described this stage as the quiet phase, the part where noise fades and consequences surface. Stories like this don't always end with chaos. Sometimes they unravel quietly until someone finally questions the foundation. What looks like drama on the surface, she said, is often consequence underneath. In her framing, the deeper issue isn't personal betrayal. It's structural imbalance. It's how power protects itself, how narratives get guarded, how individuals can be elevated quickly and isolated just as fast. Someone, she suggested, trusted a circle that may not have been built for their long-term stability. And once that realization hits, it doesn't come with applause, it comes with clarity.